Hello and welcome. My name is Alex, and I've spent my career right at the intersection of hospitality and artificial intelligence. It's a real pleasure to be speaking with all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School. Today we're going to dive into one of the most exciting shifts in our industry, predictive marketing, and how it's fundamentally changing the way hotels win the future of bookings.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll get a clear picture of the challenge that pretty much every hotel is facing right now. Then, we'll compare the old way of doing things with a powerful new approach. We'll look at the AI that makes it all possible, talk about the perfect time to reach a guest, and finally, see how it all leads to the big prize, winning that direct booking.
All right, let's get right into it. To understand where we're going, we first have to understand where we are. And right now, the competition for guests is, well, it's a real battlefield out there. The rules of the game have completely changed in the last couple of decades.
And this really is the central question, isn't it? It's what keeps general managers up at night. The relationship used to be so simple. It was between the hotel and the guest. But now you've got these huge digital platforms that have squeezed their way into the middle, and it's forcing hotels to ask a pretty tough question. Are we losing control of our own customers?
And a huge part of this challenge comes from the online travel agencies, the OTAs. They've essentially created this massive online marketplace where hotels are constantly pushed to compete on one thing and one thing only: price. This just becomes a race to the bottom. And what's worse, every single booking they send your way costs you a big chunk in commissions, which cuts right into your profit and chips away at your brand.
So, the big question is, how do you get out of this cycle? Well, it takes a whole new way of thinking. It's about shifting your entire strategy from playing defense to going on offense. And that means moving away from reactive marketing and embracing something called predictive marketing. Let's really look at what that means. This slide really lays it all out. On the left, you've got the old reactive way. It's kind of like sitting around and waiting for someone to search hotel in Paris, and then you jump in and bid against all your competitors for that click. It's passive. But look at the right. The new predictive way is completely different. You're not waiting. You're using data to figure out who your best guests are before they even start searching, and then you reach out to them with a message that's all about your unique brand and experience, not just about having the lowest price.
Now, this proactive approach, it's not magic, and it's definitely not guesswork. It's all driven by some pretty amazing technology. So let's pop the hood and look at the engine that drives this whole strategy: artificial intelligence. So how in the world does AI actually find your next best guest? It's basically a three-step process. First, the AI system analyzes your hotel's own data. It looks for your most valuable guests, the ones who stay the longest and spend the most. Step 2, it creates what we call lookalike audiences. It goes out and finds brand new people online who have incredibly similar characteristics and behaviors to your best guests. And then, step 3, this is the key. It proactively shows your hotel's ads to this new audience, getting in front of them before they've even hit Google or an OTA.
And this is where it gets so incredibly powerful. We're not talking about vague categories like leisure travelers. The AI gets super specific. For instance, it might discover that your absolute best guests are, say, tech entrepreneurs from Berlin who also happen to love fine dining. Once you know that, you can stop wasting money marketing to everyone and focus your budget on finding more tech entrepreneurs in Berlin who are foodies. It's just so much smarter. Okay, so finding the right person is a huge part of the puzzle, but the other half is reaching them at the right time. And the real magic of predictive marketing happens when you connect with people during a very specific, very early moment in their travel planning. We call this the dreaming phase. This is that wonderful time when someone is just starting to think about a trip. They're scrolling through social media, reading travel articles, just daydreaming about where they want to go next. They haven't started their serious hotel search yet. If you can put your beautiful hotel in front of them right at that moment of inspiration, you become part of their dream before the OTAs even get a chance to enter the picture.
And all of this, finding the right person at the right time with the right message, it all leads to the single most important goal for any hotel: winning the direct booking. That's the ultimate payoff.
And here's what that looks like. On the left, you see a typical reactive model, where a big slice of the pie is gobbled up by OTA bookings and their commissions. But when you switch to a predictive model, you can see how the whole picture changes. That direct booking bar skyrockets. That's more revenue staying with the hotel, and more importantly, it means you own that guest relationship from start to finish. So let's just quickly sum it all up. What are the benefits here? Well, you increase your direct bookings, you reduce how much you have to rely on the OTAs, and you finally get to step out of those draining price wars. You start competing on the value of your brand, building real, lasting relationships with your guests, and delivering a message that's truly relevant to them. It's a win-win-win.
So this brings me to my final thought, and it's really a question for all of you. This technology isn't science fiction. It's here today. The strategies are proven. The real question is, as the next generation of leaders in our incredible industry, how are you going to use these tools to go on the offense and shape the future of hotel marketing? The power is in your hands.